as always, don't forget to check the video description down below for the best prices on the tools and parts I use in today's video. Now let's check this Kia Sorento alternator job. This also works for the Hyundai Santa Fe. It's a 3.5. Let's check it out. Alright, and this is just a quick overview, guys, but after watching this, you should be confident to be able to do this all by yourself. This is a booger of a job. It calls for almost 3 hours, and on all data, there's not that much information, so I'm just going to kind of give you a run through. First thing we're going to do is take off this little air piece. It's going to be sitting right here. Bam, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Those little plastic things, you just kind of use a screwdriver, pop it out, set him off to the side. Don't forget to disconnect the negative connector on your battery. Then we're going to get this fan up and out of our way. Okay, so there's 2 bolts holding it. One is going to be setting right, and we have light. So we're going to look right down here. You're going to find this hose guy right here. We're going to look up, so you'll see that right there. There's going to be a 10 there, and then on the other side, there's going to be, so we see this little connector. Of course, you're going to want to disconnect this guy. Then there's going to be a 10mm right there that you can see I've already removed. So once you remove that, then we got to come right up here and see how this guy is flopping. You just want to make sure you do that. You got a 10mm bolt here, plastics up through here, and another 10. Then you'll be able to lift it up, and you can see, like right there, I had a 7 there, and a 7 there, and a 7 there. You take those off, and then this guy will be freed up to move, and we'll be able to move him out of the way. Oh, the coolant hose. This coolant hose right here, it's got a clamp and it's sitting right there. I used my coolant hose tool, squeeze, and he was right, the clamp was like right up under it right here. So you're gonna take that off, set him off to the side, and then down here, hopefully you can see my finger there, you got these little clips that you can see this radiator fan just sets into. So you just take your thumb, push and pull, and then here on the other side, you can see the other one. Just take your thumb, kind of push them, and then you'll be able to pull that up and out. And then you just kind of slide it as much as you can out of the way for right now. And now we have a lot more access to our alternator. So the theory is we're just going to be able to pull them up out of here. I lifted the car. We're going to take our wheel off. Now we're going to go ahead and take our belts off and take the lower alternator. And now I'll just be taking that wheel off. There's a good place to lift the car. I'm going to be using this beautiful Milwaukee 1/2-inch impact driver, 1,100 foot-pounds coming off. Stronger than a lot of air ratchets. It's crazy, amazing. And we're going to see how this thing does. Just do a nice karate chop there, and then we'll pull our wheel off and we'll check it out. Alright guys, so right now we've got this little cover. You can see I've got my ratchet on it. This is the Milwaukee 3/8 electric ratchet. Makes things so easy. We got 3 10mm. I'm gonna go ahead. This one's really hard to see. So we got that one. We got, oh. 2 and number 3. Just be able to bust this guy off here. Alright, there's a sneaky 4th one sitting right there. So I'm going to take that off, then we'll be able to see what we need to see right here. So here we are in the wheel well, and all we've got to do under here is we need to put a 19 on that, and that'll pull our tensioner back. We'll take the belt off, and I think it's a 14mm a lower alternator bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my little ratchet on here. I got a nice long extended ratchet, and I'm just gonna go ahead and lefty loosey and you can see that guy just loosens right up. So when I have two hands, with the other hand I'll just grab, pull that off. It's no big deal, as long as you have a super long ratchet. And then we'll see what's next. This bolt just pulls right out. You know, a lot of alternators, you gotta fight with them. This one, I think it's just like screwed into the engine. No nut on the other side. Easy peasy. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and hit that top bolt. We can see the alternator. It's a 14, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with my Milwaukee. Oh, and that could be almost bad, but it wasn't. Whenever you have electric ratchets, this is a good little teaching moment. Make sure you're not in a position where you can get your tool locked in by backing it out, because it could be really bad, because you won't be able to get on the other end right there to switch it back, you know, to going back in. So, I mean, in really rare cases, people have had to like maybe take a motor mount off, lift the engine up to be able to get a tool like that loose. So just always be mindful when you're using electric or air ratchet. And you probably already know about that if you've done a bunch of car work with this kind of stuff. So now I'm just gonna reach down here, use my fingers, and it's a long 14 millimeter upper alternator bolt, and it's off. So ta-da, throw it on the ground. Gotta be organized though. All right, so next we got, this is our little 12 millimeter. This is our 12 millimeter main wire that goes to the alternator. I'm gonna take that guy off, and behind this wire we have a squeeze and pull. We have a squeeze and pull connector, because you know you always got two wires going to the alternator. So take this guy off, take that guy off. This is where if you did not disconnect your battery, bam bam, you'd have sparks and probably blow a fuse. But we did disconnect it. So this guy is just right behind it. It's a squeeze and pull. You can see, where's the little thing there? There's our little button. I took my left hand and arm and reached down. This is my right hand, but I used my left hand and arm and squeezed and pulled out. It was easier when I came at it from this angle, because I had a better way to squeeze on it. So now the fun part begins. We got everything disconnected from the alternator. I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, so dislodging the alternator could be tricky, but now that you know what to do, because you watch this sweet video, it's not gonna be hard. So first thing I did is I got these wires free. There goes my hammer. And the way, there's gonna be a couple of those. The way I dislodge those is I take my tool. This tool right here, very special tool, and let's say you got one little connector and the holders in there. What you do is you just sneak in there and go and then it comes right out. So make sure you get those wires out of the way. Next, we're gonna take our big old fancy pry bar and, okay, let's focus, camera. I really want you guys to see this good. All right, here it is. All right, so you see the stud there? You can see I broke the old alternator. That's okay, because it's already bad. But you're going to put your pry bar right on the stud right there. Then we're going to come all the way up here. And then take this sweet 4-pound hammer. And we're going to go tap, 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 tap. And that is the method you're going to use to get the alternator out from its stubborn position. There you go. Okay, so here we are. I have given birth to this 2-pound baby of an alternator for this Kia Sorento. So there's a couple extra steps I took to make it a whole lot easier. So first is right in here, you would have 2 tins. And focus, camera, you'll have a tin right here and a tin right here. Basically what that is that's your radiator mount. So by taking those 2 tins out, your radiator will move forward a little bit more. Next thing I did is I took the oil dipstick out, and that's a booger. It's a 12 millimeter. It's gonna be attached right there. You'll just follow that dipstick down, take that 12 millimeter out, and then you're gonna wiggle and pull them straight out. And then There's also some little wires, that little wire connector thing I showed you to wiggle them off. You're gonna have to disconnect those. But it's not that bad. If this is your first time ever doing something, I'd say probably stay away. I've been doing this for 12 years, and it was a little bit of a booger, not too bad. But if this is like your first job, I wouldn't try it, maybe. But anyways, that's pretty much it. You can see this guy clears. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I took the engine cover off. Engine cover just pops right off. You know, it's got these little nubs with little rubber fittings, and nub, and it just kind of pops off. So when we do all that, it has the clearance just to come right out. So that's it. Thanks for watching. One little side note, I thought, hey, you know, I should probably just show them where the bolt hole is for the dipstick. That is right there. Focus. Right there. So the bolt hole is right there. Also, you got this oxygen sensor wire here. It fits into like a little spot. It's right here. You can see it's got a little spot there. Before you try and take this off, make sure you pull your wire up and move it out of the way so the old dipstick can clear. And then now we've just got perfect room for this alternator to come out and go back in. So that's it. Okay, so it wouldn't be right if I did this video without giving you this tip. So putting the alternator back in, it could be a little tough because on the new alternator, you can see we got these little pressed in fittings. That's what the bolt actually screws into. The bottom one, you can kind of just screw it in there, leave it in there, and then you'll see down in here, there's just a spot where it kind of fits in. Now, the trouble, see, that's where your bolt and your alternator will just kind of slide in. Now, the trouble is the way these little press-in fittings come might make it real tight going in there. And you're going to find that very challenging. But a little trick you can do is go ahead and screw your bolt in. It's a 14, you know, and then just take a hammer and tap it. And what you're going to do is see how this one up here is kind of sticking out a little bit, and this one down here, you can see it's sticking out further. What that's going to do is just going to help you just slide the alternator in instead of trying to hammer it in and press it in. So that's my little installation tip for you, and that's it.